Usually I make blankets that are kind of solid and meant for warmth, but I have a couple here that are more open and fancy, lacy, decorative kind of ones. And I've got this one on my display stand for clothing. It's not actually made to be a circle vest, but it could very easily be worn as a circle vest. It doesn't have any, it's sort of a shawl right now. It doesn't have any openings worked into it. And I think it's kind of a good way to do it, to make one solid and then put it on the form and be able to see where you would put the openings rather than guessing. So, but this is really nice. This is it's Mo of Change by Franco Randall. It's a free pattern up to this point. And then if you want to make it bigger, the extended version is a paid pattern. But you can make the one that I'm showing here for free. And it's meant to be made with Lion brand mandala, which is what I used, and I used Wood Nymph. It's meant to use 2 balls, and I actually had to take some white out of a different one to finish it. I didn't have quite enough. I think I'm not used to doing such a very loose design and with such a large hook, and I think when I first started I was even looser than I should have been, and so I used up a bit too much, but it turned out really nice, and it wasn't that hard to extract a little bit of white from a different ball. And in case you haven't ever seen mandala yarn, this is a different color, not Wood Nymph, but in case you haven't seen it, this is how it comes. It comes with several colors in one, and then it's a little variable. Some of the color changes are very quick, like this right here, where it just changes from purple to white, just ping, and there it is. And other of the changes blend. And on some of it, like these are more blended. So, and it's not one ball is this way, one ball is that way, but it's more of like in one ball, it can be 2 different ways. So if you're kind of upset by colors changing in random places, this is probably not the sort of yarn you want to use, but for the right pattern, it's cute. So anyway, Mo of Change is the name of it. And the other one that I did that's kind of an open pattern, and this is actually one of the first ones that I crocheted. This is Winter Blizzard Afghan, and it's by the Crochet Crowd. The designer is Daniel Zondervan, but the video was done by Michael Selleck, and if you want to find it through Ravelry, the Ravelry is kind of easier to find it because it takes you to the Crochet Crowd page, but it takes you to the right spot without having to search. So it's kind of an easier way, even though it's 2 steps. Yeah, so on Ravelry, it's listed as by Michael Selleck, but on the Crochet Crowd page, it talks about Daniel designing it. And I did it with a couple different kinds of yarn and baby yarn, so it's a smaller version. You do 19 of these motifs, and then you put them together with 1 in the middle and 6 around it, and then 12 around that. So 1, 6, 12. So it's round or sort of semi-round when you're done. And I used a different joining than they did. They have directions for a really nice fancy lacy joining, but I just don't have faith in those, that they aren't going to break with this thin baby yarn. So I did some people call it a zipper join. I think there are a few different ways of terming it, but basically it's going slip stitching or chain stitching through the back loops of the 2 stitches. So you go through the back loop of that one, the back loop of that one, pull it up, do it again. It's really easy. And it's also a good way to be able to adjust if you happen to have messed up your count and the 2 sides aren't exactly the same. You can go into one twice or skip one, and it hardly shows at all unless somebody's really examining it. It has a cute edge on it. That's part of the pattern, kind of a, I'm going to turn around here a little and see that a little better. It's a little picot edge. And I thought that was kind of cute too. So I made this because I had been knitting blankets and just using crochet to make an edge on it. And I wanted to kind of come up with some little different look, because I was putting very plain edges. And so I thought, well, I'll try some other crochet. And so I found this one just a little bit after they released it, and I thought, well, I'll do that. And I didn't actually find anything on here that I would use for an edge on a knit blanket, but it was really fun doing, and I really enjoyed it. So very seasonal, and that's something that is, it's free. So you could make it larger if you wanted to also. And if you wanted to find any more details about anything that I've done, not that I have a lot more details on that one, but that's where you find me on Ravelry. I am not a company. You won't find me under patterns. You just find me where they list people. So just in case you do want to see some of the more information that I've put about these things. But okay, so there we are. Have fun.